Okay, so welcome to the bottle tutorial. So for this one, we're going to create the bottle shown on the screen here. Yours will look a little bit different from mine, but we'll get to that in a minute. So the first thing we need to do is to minimize the screen here, which is the top left hand corner. There's a minimize button there, the little minus button. Click that once. Your desktop will look different to mine, obviously. I'm going to go to the Windows button in the bottom left hand corner, the start button. Yep. I'm going to scroll down through the options here to Autodesk Inventor 2019. Click that once. Go down to Autodesk Inventor Professional 2019, this one here. So click that. It'll take a moment to load. Okay, so if you'll have one of a couple of options on your screen. It won't quite look like mine yet. You'll either have a box that's about 1/3 of the size of the screen with a little checkbox and an OK in the corner. If you have that, click the checkbox, then OK. Or you'll have two big buttons towards the middle of the screen, a blue one and an orange one. Ignore those. Just go over to this piece of paper at the top here where it says with the corner bent down there. Just click that piece of paper. Select metric on the list on the left hand side, then select standard millimeters, standard mm.ipt, that's this one here, and then go down to create. So that was metric, standard mm, then create. You won't get this box here, ignore that. Right, so once it's loaded, you should get a grey background that is darker towards the edges and lighter towards the center. Okay, so we're now going to go into 2D sketch mode as before. So we're going to select the pencil drawing in the top left hand corner there, pencil drawing, select that. And then we're going to go down to the XY plane, that's this one here. So we hover over them all, or you can have a look around the view cube if you like. Click back on that corner there. Going to select the XY plane. If you hover over it, XY. And then we should have some crosshairs, line going through that way and through that way there, and we're in 2D mode. We know we're in 2D mode because there is 2D tools along the top here, just what we're looking for. So we're going to create a box, but the box we have to sort of modify to create this curve shape. So we're going to sort of create a cutaway of a bottle. It's not really going to look like a bottle until it's almost complete, so you're just going to have to stick with me on that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to select the line tool in the top left hand corner. Going to go to the origin point, which is that middle point where the lines cross. Get the green dot. If you hover there, make sure you get a green dot, click once, and then we're going to go downwards. Now I've got to make sure, it doesn't matter how far I go down this line here, it just matters that I'm on the line itself and not slightly to the side. Okay, so if I put it on the line, I let go of my mouse and I just type in 150. I don't click anywhere, I just type it in on the keyboard, 150, and then tap enter. Now it should say 90 degrees on the screen at the moment as well. That should say 90. So tap enter. And it's got off my screen, I can't see it. So I'm going to click the middle of the view cube where it says front, click there, and then you can see how long it is there. So I'm now going to draw another line. I'm going to go this way with my line. Now it doesn't matter how long I make this line, or rather where I put my mouse, it matters what I type in. So make sure I get 90 degrees. So you can see I've got two boxes that you can see with numbers moving around when I move the mouse. One of them says at the moment 53 and the other one says 90. So as long as I've got one of them says 90 and I'm going this direction, that's fine. The 53 one, don't do anything with it. We're just going to type in, going to put in 35. Let's try 35 and then enter. Okay, now I've got to turn this tool off. So the best way to do that is to go on to the next tool. I could press escape, that would turn it off, but I'm going to go on to the next tool. Now to get the next tool, I'm going to press the little down box here under the line tool. There's a little downward pointing arrow. I'm going to click that. I'm going to go down to spline interpolation, not spline control vertex, but spline interpolation. Okay, so I'm going to click that one once, and I've got to tell it where I want to start my spline. So I'm going to zoom in using the scroll wheel on the mouse. I'm going to go and get a green dot on the end of that line there, a green dot. I'm going to click once, and then I'm going to move my mouse. Now, you won't really see what this tool does until you've clicked it a few times. So if you watch what I do with mine, I'm going to click again about here. Then if I zoom in, you should be able to see what it's doing. It's a curve tool and it creates one constant curve. So I'm going to click again about there. I'm telling it all the points I want the shape to pass through. So I've got to use the scroll wheel on the mouse, and it is a bit awkward to get it to follow the line that you want. You've got to be careful not to hit the button there. So I'm going to go about there, then maybe, let's see where the top is. Let's go about there. It is quite difficult to do and get used to scrolling in and out with your scroll wheel, but you'll get there. It just takes a little bit of practice. If it goes wrong, you can always press the back button, which is at the top here, and then just redraw it. So I'm going to go out there. Now I'm going to start bringing it in so I can get to the mouth. I'm going to want to zoom in a bit here because I want it to go up a little bit. It's going to go up to there. And maybe a tiny bit more up, right? That'll do there. Now I'm happy that that's kind of a curve I want for my shape, so I'm going to click the tick button here that appears. So tick, and we've got our shape. So my bottle's going to follow that shape there. Now, when you've drawn your shape, if you're not happy with it, just press back, which is the top left-hand corner. It'll remove the shape, and you can click spline again and redraw it. Okay, I'm happy with mine, so I'm going to press forward again, which brings it back. And again, scrolling around is quite difficult with the scroll wheel to get to do what you want. I'm now going to go back to a line tool, which I've selected spline here, so I need to drop that box down and go to the normal line tool at the top here. Click once. I draw a line going from that endpoint there, making sure I get that round green dot. I'm going to go out a little bit. I'm going to go up a little bit. I want it to be at 90 degrees, this one, if I can. That looks good. And I'm going to go in a little bit as well. And then I'm going to go up to the top, touching that line there. And then right into the origin point that I started at, making sure it touches the line that I started at all the way at the top there. Ready? So click there. I should have a complete shape. Okay, so if I got it right and I haven't got any holes in my shape, and it's very, very easy to get holes in your shape. If you do, you just have to go back and redraw them. So press the back button and redraw things until it's correct. So I'm hoping mine's correct. I'm going to click the green tick here, finish sketch, if I'm happy with it. Now it's zoomed in on my shape. I want to zoom out to see all of it. So I'm going to click on the corner of my view cube, and that will show me the whole shape again. Now I want to revolve this shape rather than extrude it. So I want to spin that shape around into a 3D shape. So there's a cool tool at the top here we've got called Revolve. I'm going to click that tool once. And I've got to tell it, first of all, I've got to select Profile, which is this button here. Make sure that's clicked. I'm going to tell it that I want to revolve this shape here. So this is the shape that I'm working with. It should be a different color in the middle than the outside, like mine is, if you've selected it. Then I need to go to Axis. I need to select the Axis button here. And I need to tell it what thing I want to revolve around. So I want to revolve around this line here. Yep, so I've got to carefully get that line and click once after I've selected Axis. So Axis first, then select that line, click, and I should get, whoa, there we go, a 3D shape. Okay, it looks a bit like a bottle. Mine probably looks a little bit wide this time, but that's okay. That's okay. Yours will look different to mine as well. Something you can go back and change if you want to, or draw another one if you want to change it. So once you've got the shape and it's 3D, we're going to select OK. And we have a lovely 3D bottle. Now it's not quite finished, it's almost there. We're going to go to a button at the top here. Where's the button? There we go, called Shell. It's in the middle at the top, called Shell. I'm hovering over it right now. Going to select Shell, and we're going to hover over the top surface of the bottle. So just that top surface. Don't want to select the whole thing here, just the top surface. If you see, only the top line goes white. So we're going to click that, and we can choose how thick we want the wall. So it's at 1mm. I'm happy with that, but we could make it 2. So if I change that to 2 there, it's now got a thicker wall. And you may have noticed that it changes thickness when you do it. When you're happy with that, just click OK. And you have yourself a completed bottle. Now the only thing left to do is to change the colour. As you've done before, you're going to go up to either this box here, drop it down and select what colour you'd like it to be, or you could do it with this box here. You'll find there's other options as well. There you go, there's a see-through plastic bottle if you wanted to do that, like a real one. There's all kinds of options on here. So I'm going to go back to that. Where did I find the see-through plastic one? Polystyrene high impact. No. Well, choose one that you're happy with, and basically once you're happy with it, all glass there we go. Once you're happy with it, screenshot it and drop it into your page. If you know how to do that, just go on forward and do it now. If not, carry on watching and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so to screenshot this, we're going to select front on here. We then go to our keyboard. On our keyboard, on the top row, there's a button that says PRT SCRN. PRT SCRN on the right hand side of our top row. Click that for me. It won't tell you that it's done anything, it'll just do it. We're then going to go to our browser, so back to the page where we came from, this page here, the Chrome browser, and I'm going to delete my original photo so we can place our new one in. We're going to, on this page, we're going to right click in the middle of nowhere, and we're going to select paste. Our drawing should come in there. Now we want to get rid of all the buttons around the background, etc. So we're going to double click the photo. We're going to use the black bars that appear. We're going to drag them in, click and drag those in to get rid of all the buttons and things that we don't need. Cropping down to just the photo, that's called cropping. And press enter on your keyboard or click in the middle of nowhere. Okay, so I've got that one there. That's a view from a side, that'll do for that one. I'm going to go back to my drawing. Now I want a 3D view, so I'm going to click on the corner of the cube. I'm going to press on my keyboard again, I'm going to press PRT SCRN, that's on the top row on the right hand side. Tap that once, go back to the page we're working on, right click in the middle of nowhere, paste, double click the photo, click and drag the black bars to remove the buttons and things that we don't need. Crops our photo down. There we go, and press enter on your keyboard or click off it. And that's a 3D photo, so we're going to place that in there. Doesn't matter how big it is. And then the view from above, we want to click top. And now we're going to do a screenshot of that one there. So on the top row of the keyboard again, on the right hand side, find the button that says PRT SCRN, tap that once, go back to the page we're putting it on, right click in the middle of nowhere, paste, double click the photo, and we're going to crop that down using those black bars, making sure you get just the black bars and not touching the blue ones. Oh, nearly missed it. There we go. Press enter on your keyboard or click off it in the middle of nowhere. There we go. Move the photo, click and drag the photo to move it to the view from above position, and then answer the 3 tools that you've used in the process of making your bottle. Now, tools that I suggest you might want to put on there or think about. The new tools you've used today are Revolve, you've used Shell, and you've also used in Sketch, underline here, you use the Spline Interpolation tool. This one here, Interpolation, the Spline tool. Okay, those are 3 new tools. Right, well done.